What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that all of you are having a fabulous Friday. It is 4th of July weekend, so I hope that everyone has fun plans wherever you are. I'm sure you're doing better than our boy Peter Thomas. Okay, so Real Housewives of Atlanta star Cynthia Bailey's ex-husband Peter Thomas, his Miami restaurant Bar One is now being sued for eviction, according to RadarOnlne.com. So, according to court documents, Bar One Miami Beach, which Peter has run since 2019, was hit with a lawsuit by Bentley Bay Retail LLC. In this complaint, Bentley Bay Retail said that it is the landlord of the property where Bar One is located. And per the filing, the company said it entered into a commercial lease agreement with Thomas in 2018. The company said that Thomas was previously sued for eviction over unpaid payments. However, the party worked out a deal in 2020 where Thomas agreed to pay any outstanding debts. And there's a copy of the settlement that shows that Bar One agreed to pay $270,000 to resolve all the issues. Per the settlement, Bentley Bay Retail said the Thomas company agreed if any checks were returned for insufficient funds, the deal would be void and Bar One would have to leave. However, in the suit, the company said that Thomas submitted various payments that were returned for insufficient funds in July of 2022, August of 2022, September of 2022. Peter, come on, man. October 2022 and March of 2023. Okay. Bentley Bay Retail said that Thomas owes them a total of $422,000 in rent, outstanding costs, utility charges, and sales taxes. Wow. The suit said that Thomas was notified in October 22 that he was in default. The new lawsuit was filed the same month. However, the company says that the case was delayed after Thomas began negotiation talks. The company said that the negotiations were unsuccessful, and now it wants Bar One out of the location immediately. Wow. Thomas was sued personally in another recent lawsuit over another restaurant that he planned to open. You can't. So he's going to open another restaurant, but he's being sued by this one in Miami. So that's not fiscally sound. That's not a good business move, Peter. In 2022, Peter announced that he was opening a new quote-unquote upscale supper club called One Society and planned to spend $3 million on the project. Okay, well, if he has $3 million, then he needs to pay the $422 to this company that's suing him. That doesn't make sense. A company called DT Retail sued One Society over unpaid rent. Oh my goodness, Peter, all these lawsuits. Peter argued that the company had breached the lease but was failing to provide him with adequate access to the location. Yeah, that that makes sense. The judge ended up siding with the landlord and ordered One Society to hand over the keys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it, right? Peter has had a very long history, even before I started my channel, right? Because I'm fairly new to this YouTube game. But I used to watch, Real Housewives of Atlanta back when him and Cynthia were married. And from what I understand, she had to sue him for, I know it was over $100,000. I'm not quite sure of the amount. But I do know that, he took quite a bit of money from, Cynthia. And then just recently, I know that one of his managers, Alicia, went on Tasha K for him not paying his staff. And that was all over social media as well, unfortunately. So Alicia Hunt went on Tasha K's channel and talked about how, she was a manager at Bar One. She was only there for 4 months, but she said that she felt that Peter targeted her, allegedly, right? Because she had a past history dealing with fraud. She was charged with fraud, dealing with, a previous situation with a bank. Okay. So she said because she had a record, basically, Peter targeted her because he knew that she was in that vulnerable position, just like he would target. And she said that they had allegedly, right, undocumented workers for the same reason, that they're, very vulnerable. They wouldn't pay them what they were worth or what they had really earned. Because if you've ever worked in a restaurant, I've worked in several myself as a teenager, and when I was younger, it's really hard work. It's really, strenuous. It's hard on the body, and it's really fast paced. And I started out as a hostess, but I realized, I would make more money as a server. So, but even, being a waitress, especially if you don't have a busboy to, like bust your tables, you're busting your butt, you know? And so it got to the point where Alicia said that people had to sleep in the restaurant. She would let them sleep there, which is a health code violation as well. But I understand that she had a heart, because she said that, Peter wouldn't pay his workers. I mean, for over 3 months, and they were facing eviction themselves. So I am just, one, surprised to hear that he's going to open a separate restaurant for $3 million when he owes them, the landlord for bar one, that $422,000. That's a lot of money. And between him, Kim and Croy, I just feel like a lot of people from the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast, or I shouldn't say a lot, but it's coming out more and more that, they're having business issues, money issues. I mean, Nene, she's dealing with her issue, with her boyfriend, right? And that whole situation, I might make a separate video on that. But I feel like the only person that's really thriving is Candy. Right? Because I still need to do my recap about Sheree, but She by Shein, and just, man, I feel like, Candy, and it's smart to use that platform to promote her businesses. I know a lot of people don't necessarily like that about her, but she's a smart businesswoman. You got to give it to her. Unlike our friend Peter over here, who is refusing to pay his staff and, is getting sued by multiple entities. So, Peter, instead of, opening another restaurant, I would suggest that you set up a payment plan that has the sufficient funds in it, pay them off, and maybe get a partner that has a little bit more of a business background, a business acumen that can execute on your ideas. Because from what I heard, the food is good. Like even Alicia said on Tasha K's, channel, the food is good. However, the business practices are not, because you can't starve your workers. And even when she said, when she, let the restaurant workers sleep there in the restaurant because they were being evicted out of their homes for non-payment, he looked at her and he's like, what do you think you are, blank and social worker? And it's just like, no, she's a human being who has compassion on another human being who is doing the work but isn't getting paid, And a lot of people are really upset, and that's a really bad reputation to have as a businessman, especially since, like his liquor license was taken, and him still trying to be in the restaurant business. I would suggest maybe trying to do something different altogether, because it's not going to work if you have that amount of outstanding debt, you don't have a liquor license, and you have a really bad reputation for not paying your staff. That's not a good way to run a business. But, those are just my thoughts. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. So please let me know what you're thinking. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. And I will talk with you later. Take care, Aces. Bye.